Where is the hour-by-hour schedule of the President of the United States on September the 11th, 2012? It has never been released. What is the hour-to-hour schedule of the President of the United States that night? Where is it?
We knew that schedule for when Osama bin Laden was killed.
There were videos of the President watching the assault to capture Osama bin Laden by the brave SEALs who did it. Where is the video of what he did the night of Benghazi?
Did you, Mr. President, personally call any Libyan government official to request assistance for our 4 Americans who were under attack? The answer is no. He called government officials in Libya on September the 12th after everybody was dead.
Ever since the Watergate scandal, the news media has asked, what did he know and when did he know it? But with Benghazi Gate, the questions for the President Obama, are different. The questions are, what did he do and when did he do it? Craig investigates.
8:46 a.m. on the south lawn of the White House, the President and First Lady begin the annual commemoration of the 9/11 attacks with a moment of silence. It is precisely 11 years after the first hijacked plane, American Airlines Flight 11, was flown into the World Trade Center, beginning the deadliest attack on American soil since Pearl Harbor. 9:37 a.m., the President and the First Lady lay a wreath honoring those killed and wounded at the Pentagon, remembering those killed at the Trade Center and the Lonely Field in Pennsylvania.
This is never an easy day, but it is especially difficult for all of you, the families of nearly 3,000 innocents who lost their lives.
3:40 p.m. in Washington, D.C., 9:40 Benghazi time, terrorists attack the U.S. mission in Benghazi. 9:50 p.m. Benghazi time, Ambassador Chris Stevens frantically calls his deputy Greg Hicks in Tripoli, saying, "Greg, we are under attack." His local Libyan security deserts him as attackers swarm the compound. As surviving State Department personnel tried bravely but in vain to save the ambassador and colleague Sean Smith. 4:05 p.m., 20 minutes after Stevens' last message, the President, while visiting wounded warriors at Walter Reed, is informed of the attack. 4:40 p.m., the President departs Bethesda, Maryland on Marine One, landing on the South Lawn at 4:50 p.m.
What we don't know is what the President did, who he met with or spoke to during the attack that lasted 7.5 hours. Matt Schlapp is former assistant to the president and political director under George W. Bush. Why do you think there's such a void of information on the president's movements after that attack began, Matt?
And he had a meeting scheduled with Leon Panetta at 5 o'clock after these attacks had started. So, you know, he was in touch with key members on his national security team, yet there seems to be a lack of revelation from the White House on what was discussed and why they decided to make the decisions that they made.
Are there any reports of the president ever making it to the Situation Room where a decision could be made to send in the cavalry?
You know, it's a great question. That's one of the questions that should be answered.
At 5 that evening, 11 p.m. Benghazi time, outgoing Defense Secretary Panetta and General Martin Dempsey, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, meet for 30 minutes with the president at the White House. That is the last communication between the commander-in-chief and his top military officials on the night of the attack. This official photo, which carries no timestamp, is later released showing the president also getting, quote, briefed on the situation in the Middle East and North Africa by his national security advisor, the vice president, and the White House chief of staff. Fox News anchor Chris Wallace later confronts Dan Pfeiffer, senior advisor to President Obama.
4 Americans, including the ambassador, are killed. Dozens of Americans are in jeopardy. The president at 4 o'clock in the afternoon says to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, deploy forces. No forces are deployed. Where is he while all this is going on?
This has been testified to by the...
Well, no one knows where he was or how he was involved or who told him there were no forces.
The suggestion of your question is that somehow the president allowed this to happen.
I just want to know what the answer is.
8 p.m., 2 a.m. Benghazi time. 3 hours after Stevens' last call, the embassy in Tripoli receives another deeply disturbing call from the same cell phone. This time, it's an Arab-speaking man informing Tripoli that the ambassador is dead. Approximately 10 p.m., 4 a.m. Benghazi time, the president, in regular communication with his national security team, speaks for the first time directly with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who sometime during the evening has released a statement saying, "I condemn in strongest terms the attack on our mission in Benghazi." Her statement goes on to say, quote, "Some have sought to justify this vicious behavior as a response to the inflammatory material posted on the internet. The United States deplores any international effort to denigrate the religious beliefs of others." End quote. An hour later, 11:15 p.m., 5:15 a.m. in Benghazi, and less than 15 minutes after a rescue team arrived on scene from Tripoli, former SEALs Ty Woods and Glenn Dougherty are killed in a mortar attack on the CIA annex. 12:30 a.m. September 12th, 6:30 a.m. Benghazi time, escorted by friendly Libyan forces, all U.S. government personnel are evacuated from the annex to the Benghazi airport. 10:18 a.m., 3 hours after the evacuation, candidate Mitt Romney weighs in.
I also believe the administration was wrong to stand by a statement sympathizing with those who had breached our embassy in Egypt, instead of condemning their actions.
10:46 a.m., about an hour later, the president speaks from the Rose Garden.
No acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation, alter that character, or eclipse the light of the values that we stand for.
2:20 p.m., the president departs Andrews Air Force Base en route to Las Vegas, Nevada, for a scheduled fundraiser. Critics are horrified by the insensitivity the move shows.
You are Judge W's political director, as well as advisor. This is 2 months before the election. Were there conversations, you think, with Chicago, with the political team?
You can't think that the president, could somehow completely divorce this terrible tragedy with what the impact would be on his standing with the American people. You're asking questions that are very basic to this tragedy, and that the White House deserves to look the American people in the eye and give them an answer.
What the families and supporters of the men who died in Benghazi are asking for is a specific review of the White House response to the attacks, a TikTok as comprehensive as the one that followed the raid on Osama bin Laden. What and when the president was doing, if anything, and who he was speaking with, if anyone. And on those points, the critics say there should be nothing to hide. Geraldo.
They're fair questions, Greg. Thanks.